after you finish your studies in the Czech Republic. So let's go through that together in today's video. First of all, a few clarifications. What I mean by studies is studying an accredited program of a Czech university, meaning that you have by after finishing your studies. I definitely don't mean by after you finish your studies. I definitely don't mean for you to wait until you finish your studies. Quite the opposite. You should actually start thinking about your next steps. Already do a lot of cutting today. So one thing I also want to emphasize is that everything I will be talking about today is based on you finishing your studies. Okay, so if you're thinking about making some major changes, like leaving the school and only start working full-time or things like that, like significant things like that, definitely don't do it before you at least speak with someone who knows the requirements and who can give you some proper advice so you can decide what to do next. The thing is that the student status gives you plenty of load. So what should you do in the Czech Republic after you finished your studies? I'll give you 4 steps to follow. Number 1 is to finish your studies, because all the advantages, like for example free access to the labor market, meaning that you can work freely in any company, any position you want, only comes with the degree. If you finish the studies, you don't get this opportunity to work wherever you want. Number 2, stay under the student residence permit during the whole time, because there is no reason for you to change before you finish your studies. As a student, you can work freely, you can work even full-time. So there is no need for you to switch to the employee card. You can also get a trade license and you can freelance on the side. So again, you don't need to change the purpose of your stay. So you can stay under your student visa, and it actually gives you plenty more opportunities, because as a student, you are not tied to one employer. If you switch to the employee card during your studies, you will be tied to one employer, and if you want to change a job, you will need to go through a not that much complicated process, but through a process. If you stay under the student visa or student residence permit, you can work freely, you can leave the job anytime you want, you can find a new job, and everything is pretty easy. You can also get a trade license and freelance in the Czech Republic. That you can stay under the student residence permit. That would be the number 2. Number 3, apply for the job seeker visa once you finish your studies, or actually before you're finishing the studies. Because the job seeker visa gives you 9 extra months to stay in the Czech Republic and figure out what you want to do next. If you are interested in that, in the recording, check the video above, where I talk specifically about the job seeker visa, how to get it, all the documents you need and all that. But just for the purpose of this video, what is important is that you get some extra time to figure out what you want to do next. If you try to do something like switch into an employee card before you finish the studies. And number 4 would be the actual switch from the right now. Yeah, because I made another video specifically about the job seeker visa, so all the details are there. Check the link above. But to make this video and like to give you all the information, I will include the information here as well. So once you're on the job seeker visa or a job seeker residence permit, you can choose what you want to do. You have 9 months to do that. And one thing you can do is to apply for an employee card, which would be so-called non-dual employee card, which means employee card with free access to the labor market, which is given to you by having a Czech diploma. That's why it's so important to finish the school and get the Czech diploma. So, because getting the non-dual employee card is actually pretty simple, because your employer doesn't need to advertise the position, you don't need the vacancy number, anything. and then also stay under the employee card. Now, the non-dual employee card is pretty simple as well, because changing the employer is very simple. You just report it to the ministry. You don't need to win like that. And all the extensions and everything is also pretty simple. Okay? Or the other option, or the other thing you can do is to switch to the business residence, meaning that you will stay here and you will be freelancing or you will be running your own company. A bit more complicated, because you should ideally get the trade license and start earning money kind of way prior this change. At least 6 months is what is recommended by the Ministry of the Interior, because you need to prove your income for the last 6 months. But maybe even you could start even earlier. You can start, as I mentioned previously, you can start even during your studies. So you can, during your second year, you can get a trade license, you can start building up your income. And when the time comes, you will just switch from the job seeker visa to the business residence permit, because you will have the trade license already for a couple months, or even with your regular income, and that will make it easy for you to switch to the residence permit. Yeah, so again, I made another video about that, so check it. And also, if you want to know how to get the trade license and what all the rules are about that, what's about social security, healthcare, income tax, I made another video about, also a link somewhere here. So check it if you're interested in getting the trade license. And now, if you have any questions, comment below. I will be happy to answer everyone. I do it on YouTube. Other platforms, not that much, but on YouTube, I take the time and answer all the comments. So if you have any questions, please ask in the comments. And of course, subscribe, like,